Welcome back, everyone. This is Getting to Know Natalie. Yes, I am Natalie Wong, and I have with me one of my beautiful mother, my adopted mother, not legally, but by relationship, Audrey Jarrett. Say hi, Audrey.
Hi, Natalie, and once again, I'm back to yours. So we're going to continue where we left off. Natalie, the question, what were your parents like?
Okay, so uh, I said earlier that I was born to Monica Campbell and Michael Wong. And I remember in the Where Did You Grow Up, I said that I started out living with my mother when she lived with my grandparents, but I did not say my grandparents' name. My grandparents are Herman McCoy, my beautiful mama, Herman McCoy, and her husband, Otto McCoy, uh, mostly called Uncle Otto. My biological grandfather, he migrated and he lives in England. My grandmother, she's no longer alive. May her soul rest in peace, nor is my grandfather, Arthur McCoy, alive. And also, I should mention that during the younger years when I used to spend time with my guardian, Sister Salome Samuels, her husband that she lived with was Brother Rob. Sorry, Brother Bob. We call him Brother Bob. Um, he and their beautiful daughter Sabrina. Sabrina would have been, I think, my second childhood best friend. Um, yes, so let us continue. All right, so repeat the question again, Audrey.
What were your parents? What were your parents like?
All right, so back to that question. So, my mother, I remember as a child, she was a cook. She used to work at a restaurant at Port Henderson. I don't remember the name of the restaurant, but I think it's when she was working at that restaurant, that's where she met my stepfather because his family lived right next door to the restaurant. Um, and then when she lived in Negril, she was also a cook there too. And then she went into fashion design. So my mom, she she used to sketch her own design. She used to cut them. She used to sew them. I remember she did the classes, I believe somewhere in Savlamar. I don't have all the details, but somewhere in South Westmoreland and then in Negril. And she used to, make her own dress and stuff like that and sell them. And then she went into entrepreneurship. She and my stepfather decided that they were gonna start a business. My stepfather, he was an electrician that I can remember at first, and while he was an electrician, he also owned a band. He owned and played in a band. This band used to play at Roots Bamboo in Negril. Not sure if it's still operating, and also at his cousin's place, that's Alfred's Ocean Palace in Negril, that is still up and running. One of my favorite places in Negril. Go Alfred's. Um, I remember spending a lot of time at Alfred's with, as I said, that's my stepfather's cousin and his children. I was close to his son Alfred Jr. and Joanie Anglin, who lived next door to them. She became one of my best friends later down. She'll hear more about Joanie. So yeah, my father used to work in the band, and also used to work with Alfred, doing, I think, carpentry work, if I'm remembering correctly. Um, yeah. So they did those stuff and then decided afterwards that, they wanted to do something for themselves. They went into business. They um attained land. I think, not think, my my step grandmother, that's my stepfather's mom, um, Winifred Campbell. She had allowed my stepfather to build onto the property that they have there in Negril. So they started a plaza and started doing business from there. But as I said, there was always, the abusive situation. But to touch on some nicer stuff about growing up in Negril and with my parents, um, I do remember my mother. She was just always working. I can't remember a day when mommy would be the type of mom to relax. Even when they started doing their own stuff, she was always busy, busy with family, just busy working, working, working. She is one of the hardest working woman that I know. She's never sitting down and relaxing. She hardly does that. She's always working. And my stepfather, he's always, well, good with the building, or trying, well, not the best builder in my eyes, but he's always doing that kind of stuff. A good musician. And later down you hear about my siblings. My brother is also now a musician. I'd say that he gets that from his father. My stepfather in the beginning was an awesome person to me. He used to be my hero. I used to call him Uncle Daddy, for those who
Mhm.
would remember. I never used to call him Daddy. It's always Uncle Daddy, because I guess everybody else who was around me used to call him Uncle. And, it's not like I saw him from day one. So when I get used to seeing him and hear that, he's your daddy, I don't know how I end up with this name, but I end up calling him Uncle Daddy. So he was my Uncle Daddy, and he was good to me in the first several years. He always he's the one to always help me with schoolwork, homework. He's the one to, make sure that my uniform was on properly. And
Mhm.
he used to have this thing where he would inspect me before I go, make sure your hair is set alright, the clothes alright, your shoes clean. He wouldn't allow me to leave the house with dirty shoes, that kind of stuff. He was that kind of father. And weirdly enough, he was very protective of me as a toddler. Like, if I said my head hurt me, my stepfather would get, all worried, and, very protective. He was very protective of me. So it's surprising to know that we end up the way we are now, right? As I said, he was a drinker in the beginning. I can't tell you exactly what he and my mother used to argue about. I know some of the arguments would have included, who is jealous, who is not jealous, um, who is doing reckless stuff. Because I think when he used to get drunk and come home in the nights, he would break stuff a lot. He would do some clumsy things, and I guess it would get my mom upset, and they would argue, and then that argument would um, ending up with her being physically abused. We oftentimes used to run for refuge, I remember, by one of my cousins. That's one of his niece, or his brother.
Mhm.
Yes, we used to go around by Uncle Arthur at the time for refuge. My mom and myself, when we want to get away from when he become a monster in my eyes at that time. And wow, the time flies so quickly, Audrey. We're gone
Yes.
over the 10 minutes. So, and that's just that one question.
What was parents like? Yeah.
Yes. So,
But
guys, we will be back shortly with the other video.
sorry.